So now we're in the Friuli region of Italy, which is right next to Slovenia, which makes sense that they're both making a lot of orange wines. So this one's called Aransat, which basically means slang for orange wine, or orange or orange wine, in the Friuli, or in Friulani, I think that's how they call their dialect. So this is a really fun, very inexpensive, but great, like, I would not say entry point to orange wine, unless you want to go straight for like the very orange, very extracted stuff. But it's a really good, like, understanding if you don't have the Radicon or what's called the other one, Grabner budget yet, or for the Friuli people, like this is like the lighter version, the way less expensive version of the types of wines that they're doing there. Or if you just are afraid to spend the money because you're like, am I gonna like it? If you like this, then you're gonna be absolutely wowed by them. So starting from the beginning, this is a family-owned operation up in Friuli. And what they're doing with it is they are taking Pinot Grigio and Sauvignon Blanc, and they are destimming it and letting it have 90 days, 90 days of skin contact. So it's at colder temperatures, so it's not going to get a bonkers amount of extraction, but it's still quite extracted, as you could guess, from 90 days. That's a lot. So basically, when I hear that, my expectation is that there's going to be tannin, and there might be less fruit, and there might be more like complexities to it, and more things that you would expect from like a red wine. So with that in mind, let's jump in. All right, all I can get on the top, it just tastes or smells like peach tea, which would make sense because again, tea also has tannin. Fun fact, if you didn't know that. Tannin is the stuff that dries out your mouth. And you know, you're used to that with like a Cabernet Sauvignon or whatever. But tannin is what dries out your mouth. Acid is what makes your mouth and your tongue water. So it's interesting, and I feel like very logical that peach tea is what I'm getting, or tea generally, but man, that is some peachy stuff. And it's funny because peach is normally like back on the list of things that I typically get. Normally it's like, oh, like it's orange or it's apple or it's whatever, and then we get to peach, but like, nope, not this one. Peach train, at least for me. Maybe you're getting something else. All right, so that's at the top, and now going on to the bottom. Oh man, it's like savory down here. It's like almost vegetal. What kind of vegetal? I don't know. Peppery, maybe? Not sure. And then what's interesting, and then I'm like going to the side and I'm like, oh, but it's also honey. It's like, there's a lot going on here. Oh, it's definitely honey. Wow, that smells amazing. It's like a little bit floral, less, more other things than fruit. The fruit is definitely taking a back seat in this one. It's interesting because it's not aged. Is it? Let's see here. 2020? Yeah, so it's definitely not aged. So all of that's got to be coming from the skin contact. So let's try it. Long finish. Whoa. So definite tannin. But it's interesting. It's not like tight tannin, you know, where I'm like really feeling it suck the life out of my mouth. The tannin is also very balanced by the acid. Like I said, my mouth is watering as well. So that's what you want from a very balanced wine. And yeah, that like peach tea, whew, that is like what I'm getting on here. It definitely has other things going on, but again, like, you know, this is like, you know, a not very expensive version of some wines that are like absolute insanity. So it makes sense that like I'm getting other things as well. Like it definitely has some minerality. It has, you know, this like lovely vegetal grassy note to it as well. But like it's pretty singular in that like its main thing is like I am peach tea and I've got some tannin, but I've also got nice balanced acidity. So with that, it's interesting. It would change the way that I'm thinking about it because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to say I was going to pair it with, but I'm definitely happy to change it now. What I really would pair this with is like a pork tenderloin that has some sort of sauce with it. I mean, honestly, if you want to really go for it, like a peach sauce, but you don't have to get that. You don't have to get that in depth. Just something, some sort of like fruity thing on the side. But for some reason, like this is just saying to me, like, put me with pork. I feel like it's a little overpowering for a chicken, but it obviously is not far enough that I really want to put it with red meat. Oh, you know what's be amazing with like Moroccan food? I would put it with like tagine lamb. Ooh, that's good too. Yeah, I would definitely anything like all the spices from the Moroccan food would go really well with this. So that's yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get some sort of like Moroccan food or some sort of like Middle Eastern food and have that with this. This is it is decided. This is meant for Middle Eastern food. So I hope that you go get some and have it with it. Otherwise, pork tenderloin, you know, you can do other things too. Maybe even squash. It could be good with some like butternut squash as well. But if you really want to do it justice, that's what you're gonna do. Enjoy.